Good evening and welcome to Forge. I am the Wild Man.
And this is DJ Tiano. Welcome back, folks. It is episode 12, Tuesday, March 16th. This episode is labeled Two Wolves. You got the good wolf and the bad wolf. Before we get into that, though,
Yes.
we're going to get you with the inspirational quote. Are you ready for that shit?
I'm ready. Let's hit him with something.
All right, last week we had our guest on, Justin Ronsley. He was the one that provided us with the quote.
Okay.
And the quote was from Winston Churchill. The quote goes as, "Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm." Wild man, elaborate.
Yes. Let me evaluate. Let me elaborate. Anyway, I'm inspirated. Yes. Anyways, there's a backstory to that. I would say for that means that you don't lose your passion. You don't lose that drive. You fail, you still go. Boom. Obstacle after obstacle, yet you just push through. Always focus on the end result.
Absolutely. I mean, it's pretty plain cut and dry. We say that every week.
Yeah.
Quotes are pretty plain cut and dry. But I'm just going to go ahead and say, you have to fail sometimes to succeed. Because if you don't know what's on the other side of the fence, you're never going to know what succeeding is, actually.
This is true.
Sometimes faults, you gain traction from faults. You slip up, you'll never do it again, essentially. And if you do it again, you just got to keep plugging, and eventually you'll break through that glass ceiling, man.
I hear you. I look at failure as not that, I look at it as you fail, you evolve. You can't really evolve if you don't fail, because if you're just boom, 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 boom,
yeah,
you don't know better. So if everything's easy in life, I'm never going to get stronger. If it's not hard, I'm not going to get stronger. If everything is dumb that I go through, I'm not going to get smarter because I won't have to do anything. So that's how I look at it.
We preach it every episode.
We do.
There's nothing wrong with failing.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
All right, we're going to get into this week's episode.
Yes.
Take it away.
It's called The Two Wolves. Now, we've all heard that saying, where the kid asks the parent, well, how do you know which wolf wins? And the parent says, well, that depends on which wolf you feed. Me personally, I think you have to have balance, so you got to feed both of them in your life. Because you can't be all bad and you can't be all good. Then what is good and what is bad? Just like in life, we need the balance.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm actually going to use the quote of the week on this.
Use the quote?
So,
okay.
Being bad doesn't always necessarily mean you're committing a criminal act or anything like that.
This is true.
You could have made a bad decision. Mm-hmm. You could have, jumped the gun in an argument, said something that you didn't mean to. You could have lashed out at your boss, lost your job because of it, whatever. But it takes that failure, that bad, to see the good.
This is true.
To succeed, you need to see the good.
Yeah.
But again, on the other flip side of the script, you got to be introduced to the bad, almost essentially.
Yes, we got to have that balance.
Yeah. And I'm also going to go on record as saying a lot of us don't know, the difference of good and bad when we're young.
Mm-hmm.
You just go, you wing it with the crowd, man. You're out hanging out with your group of friends. You're doing something menacing to your neighborhood, or you're TPing somebody's house, or you would consider being in the bad wolf genre, right? You're considering leaning towards the bad side of things, right? But as you grow older, you get wiser, and you get put on notice that respect others, respect elders, respect others, properties, whatever it is,
Okay, now with what you just said there, that kind of leads me into my next question: is how and when do you decide if a decision is made of which wolf won? So I guess you would be saying, am I a good person or am I a bad person as you get old? Because like you said, sometimes you start off a little bad, depending on where you grow up, you have to be a little stronger than what some other areas might have to be. Versus when you get older, you're smarter. Instead of thinking with these, you think with this. This is a last resort. So now I'm wise. Now I'm respectful. Now you try to break it down. So then which wolf are you? When does that come into play again? Are you the good wolf or are you the bad wolf?
I really believe it all has to do with environment, surroundings, the circle of people you're around.
Okay.
Because if you're around people who are essentially doing nothing but good things and
Mm-hmm.
reaching for that brass ring, like we talk about, surrounding
Mm-hmm.
yourself in the circle of people that are successful.
Make you level up.
So sometimes we have no option of the environment we're brought up in.
Okay.
So for instance, I was brought up in a neighborhood, it was very diverse, whatever. Mm-hmm. There was never no racial tension amongst us friends and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There was never none of that, right? So we all grew up in this niche, but we also grew up in the inner city. So we were subjected to some of the things that were going on around us. And sometimes as kids, you see that stuff as being cool or being the thing to do. Or, you're
like
doing
smoking.
Smoking. Or it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing that the environment I was brought up in and around, there was temptation there because we thought it was normal.
Yeah.
As children, I'm going to say children because we weren't very wise. We just got together and we did stuff. We did dumb things. I think every, childhood circle of friends does things like this. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean, like we're breaking in and robbing things and things like that. But there has been times the younger me did some stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I'm going to be very transparent with this because that's what I want to do on this podcast. I want to open up to everybody to see that there can be improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So being brought up in this environment I was subject to, we get to the age about 15, 16 years old, we start hanging out all night, creeping the streets late at night and things like that. And, there was one group of friends that was not so much tight-knit with us, but it was just on the outside of the circle. You ever get that two groups of friends come together, they play sports, blah, 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 but they go back, they separate when,
Yeah.
So this group of friends were, I don't know what inspired them or what, led them to doing this stuff, but they started ripping off cars. Okay. Started stealing cars right out of people's driveways. I don't know if they were hot wiring and things like that. So here I am in this surrounding of people thinking nothing of it,
Yeah.
Obviously, it's bad because it's stealing, but at the same time, you're like,
this is exciting.
It's exciting. It's an adrenaline rush.
I'm out with friends.
And I'm going to go on record and straight open up. And, through the course of watching this, that was a normal thing, cool thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was like a January morning. It was freezing. Me and my buddy walking down the street. Lo and behold, there's a car running in the driveway. Stupid me, with the environment I was in, thinking I was cool. I was like, I'm going to go earn my stripes today. Hopped in the car, told them to meet me around the corner, scooped them up, and obviously it didn't end very well.
Obviously.
But the one thing I learned from it was I learned my lesson, never to do it again. Long story short, we got popped.
Okay.
They picked up a couple of my friends. We weren't very smart about it, number one. They picked up a couple of my friends. They questioned them.
Somebody
didn't say nothing. I don't know if, never know. Never know if there was a rat or if it was just the way they were playing me or whatever. Mm-hmm. They finally got me in there, and I don't know what took over me. I instantly took the blame. I didn't try to hide it. I was like, I knew I effed up, and I'm going to make this thing right. I'm not going to drag down my boys with me. So I took the blame and everything, and, I went through the court process. I got a wild, youthful offender because I was so young, and they slapped me with 1,000 hours of community service, which I served throughout the city doing different things, which opened my eyes to helping people at that age, and I also had to pay some restitution to the people that I stole their vehicle from. So leaning on our conversation about how can you choose who you are, the good or the bad. I think throughout life we teeter that.
Okay.
Like you says, there's got to be that balance, and sometimes it just leans too far to one side, or your environment or the people around you push you to be either or, whether the bad or the good. When you get older, it depends on you because you're smarter at this point. You can determine what's really good and what's really bad.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I do. For me, I don't look at it as what's good or bad. I look at it as right or wrong. I'm always both wolves at the same time, and depending on earlier I was talking with DJ. If I see somebody going to hit a woman,
Mm-hmm.
a guy, I'm going to be the bad wolf because I'm not going to just watch it. If I see somebody go scoop up a little kid, I'm going to be the bad wolf. That's how I look at it, is what's right and what's wrong. If I got to turn into the bad wolf to do, stop those things, I'm going to.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, So
to revisit that, then it's result of your environment that's creating this. Whether you're gonna jump for that, it was the action of what you were seeing that's gonna make you react bad. Go after this person.
Yes.
It's not so much you were aimed at approaching this situation with just jumping in and being the bad wolf.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, change your emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Changed your view on things, got you riled up.
But see, at the same time, we could say that. But yet there are people who are more invested in the field, are professors. There's an argument, nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
So can someone who's had, like, their parents were just evil, that they have a kid, but that evil kid, evil DNA, is placed in a good home, is the evil still going to come out, or is the nurture going to,
Sounds like the movie The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. You ever see that?
I have. Back when I could still handle looking at the little kid. Nowadays, he scares me. I have nightmares. But that's always been, every now and then, like every so many years, I'll revisit back to that question, nature versus nurture, because of the two wolves, because of how I see, sometimes you need the bad wolf so that you can be strong enough to get through those obstacles that you have to face.
I agree with that. Sometimes you got to stand up for yourself, whether it means being the bad person.
Yes.
So I was just going to kind of touch down on that. And again, it was another situation I was put in. I'm not going to say any names or put anybody on blast. I'm just going to say him, her, this, that, and the third, okay?
Yes.
I went out one evening, and we were enjoying some adult beverages.
There you go.
Okay. I went out with a certain somebody, and we met up with that certain somebody's cousin.
Okay.
They proceeded to enjoy many alcoholic beverages. Take it past the point of, knowing what the hell is going on. Probably spinning everything. Everything's spinning. So it comes time to leave the club we were at. And on our way out, we're walking towards our vehicle or whatever, and there was a gentleman on the side of the road. He was hanging out. He was handing out his flyers for where he was going to be DJing or whatever.
Okay.
Whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
It was a show, or maybe it was just promoting something at a bar.
He was advertising for himself. Yes.
And he goes, "Hey man, where do I know you from?" And I was like, "I have no idea." He was like, "Oh, you're that dude from that construction site." It must have been a painting thing I was on. And then I recognized who it was. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know what I mean? And just to, I don't want to get too specific or whatever, but one of the people I was with, they tried to hand that person the flyer.
Okay.
And this person was so messed up, and you can tell, obviously, this was deep within their, this was woven into their thought
psyche
process.
and whatnot.
Because no matter how drunk you are, a decision or something that you say comes from somewhere, some thought in your brain that was...
It's the real you.
It's the real you. So a racial slur comes flying out of this person's mouth. Not only was I talking to this gentleman, I was nice to him, and we've talked on the job site.
Very pleasant, yeah.
Yeah, he was a cool dude, everything, you know what I mean? And I don't know what made this person think that or whatever.
Out of left field, what do they say?
And then they took a swing at this dude. So I'm like, what is going on? You know what I mean? So now I'm on the run because this person's affiliated with me. I'm like, go get in the car, I'm done dealing with this, get in the car. Go. This is not who I am, get in the car. You know what I mean? So as this progresses, we get down the road. Number one, I'm irate because I hate all racial, I just hate it. I hate racial
believe me,
tension.
I know how you...
I hate the words. I hate all of it. You know what I mean? I don't want nothing to do with it. If I could do away with one thing in this world, it would be racism.
Yeah.
So I'm already irate. Now, the fact that I got responsibility of this person is in my back seat. I'm not taking this person to my house.
Mm-hmm.
I keep repeatedly asking, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? They didn't want to give me any answers. So we get farther down the road. And don't you know, the other person that I was with that is close with this person, they start fighting each other. It spills out of the vehicle. I pull over. It spills out of the vehicle onto the sidewalk. They're rolling around on the floor. So I'm like, no way. I'm getting out of this situation. I don't care what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
I scooped up the person that I was there with, put them in the vehicle. I said to the other person, I said, hey, if this is how you want to act, under somebody else's responsibility, tough luck finding a way home tonight, because I'm not dealing with this. I got in the car and I left. Next day, we received a call from the family of that person, and they were not very happy with me.
Mm-hmm.
And where I'm going with all this is I turned to the bad wolf when I left that person on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I says, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Instantly, to that family, to that person, I was the bad person.
Okay.
And forever, up until this day, those people do not like me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to live with this every day. I made that bad decision, yes, but in the long run, was it really the bad decision?
No, it was for a good reason.
Am I really the bad wolf out of the situation?
No.
So, again, going back to your environment, sometimes the bad is brought out of you. The bad decision, the bad whatever it is.
Oh, yes.
Is from your environment. And you will be looked at as the bad wolf to others through the lens of others. But, now living with this guilt, I don't know, 5 years later, I still think about it, because there's not too many things I do that are bad, like I consider a bad decision or being that bad wolf anymore. Because I've aimed everything at positivity. I've aimed at uplifting my family, getting my family into a successful position. So now I still live with this guilt to this day, and it's like the one thing that hangs over my head that has me feeling like I'm still the bad wolf. And I just,
See,
it's unfortunate.
Yes, it is. Me personally, if I had to make a decision like that, I wouldn't feel bad. That's just because I don't allow that into my life. It's one of the blockers, but the negativity and the bad. But I personally, I every day, I walk that line: the good wolf, the bad wolf, the good wolf, the bad wolf. How am I gonna act? I'm sure you're aware. I allow 3 people to be disrespectful, and then I just start biting heads off and I take the filter away, and I tell people, I put them in their place per se. Yes, it's kind of lead up to other situations, but I have learned to do it in such a way that, one, the person is totally just baffled, and sorry to say, but they feel this small. Because it gets to a point, where something happens once, twice, the third time within a 3-minute period, and you're just like, are you effing kidding me right now?
So are we really considered the bad wolves out of that one, or are they the bad wolves and we're just reacting to
Am I the badder wolf?
Yes, because you're reacting to their decision making. Or
well, here's my answer to that. I don't care. All right. That being said, yes, there is a switch. And I learned a long time ago when I was younger how to turn it off. Friends and family, the switch is on. Okay. I'm always the good wolf unless I have to stand up for them if they're smaller. Because I'm definitely a big proponent and pushing of protecting those that can't protect themselves. Because I can protect myself. Even if I just looking crazy sometimes, like I'm told, don't mess with that guy. He looks like he just got out the nut house. yeah, it works for me. Oh, yeah, because I'll eat your soul. But at the same time, it's you have to, today, it's not, and I don't care because I don't walk on eggshells. As long as I'm not physically or mentally hurting somebody, if I walk by and I fart and you say your feelings are hurt, I'm going to tell you, grow up. I'm sorry. I can't do with all this. Cancel that. Stop this. Oh, your feelings. Okay. You don't get any, because everybody gets their feelings hurt. Yeah. It's a part of life. It strengthens you. But there's a part, being when you choose to be one of these 2 animals where you take it way too far. We grew up with bullies. We got in a fight. 9.5 times out of 10, you helped the other one up and you became best friends.
Times are changing, bro.
Oh my God,
are changing.
It's insane.
Which leads kind of to this thing I want to talk about too. We always say the negative gets more attention.
Yes.
You know, so when you're on Facebook or whatever, you're on a platform, and that one guy sticks out like a sore thumb because he's insulting people, but people flock and reply to him more than they reply.
He gets
to,
all the likes. Oh,
he gets
oh
it all.
You know.
So even in a situation where say cop brutality or whatever we deal with, we see the situation unfold, and more comes out of the story, and more comes out of the story. That person, 99 out of 100 times could have done good deeds throughout their whole life, right? But it's that one strike. Say this person got killed or whatever, unjustly or what, you know, should not have got killed. There should have been a better route to take. But, you know, leading up to that decision, was that cop the good guy or the bad guy? You know, that's left up for our court system, unfortunately.
Minus, I know with the police and what happens with there, a lot of people think that there was another way. There's another way. In most of these instances that I've been seeing, at least after they do with the full body cam and they actually see it, because I listen to what people say and I throw it out the window because I don't care. Because when it first happens, it's all from the he said, she said, I'm going to be, you know.
Nobody knows what really went on.
No, not until like weeks later after they've done all right, here's the camera. This is what happened. Okay. Then you look, and sometimes, yes, things should have been handed. But there are instances where split
I'm not disagreeing with it.
There
are times when those decisions need to be made. But what I was just getting at was, okay, so this person gets killed, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't know who was right, who was wrong yet.
Okay.
Okay. Usually a week down the road, people start researching these people. They start looking into their backgrounds.
Yeah, they find all the bad stuff.
And what I was saying, they could have been 99 out of 100 times a great person, but they have one blemish on their record. And then you got this whole crowd of wave of people now backing. Yeah.
Oh, now I found out he should have did this. He did do this.
He should have did it because he stole a Fifth Avenue bar from the convenience store when he was 10 years old. He should die, you know. No.
Yeah. No, it's...
So there's always, you know, depiction of good and bad from others, and then there's depiction from yourself. Am I good or bad?
This is true.
You know.
So now, with that being said, now, as you said, depiction of how you view yourself, how you view yourself versus how others view you. Does that dictate how you act, or are you like some of the people, myself included in this, who don't care at all what other people think about you?
I've grown to the point where I almost don't care what other people think. Okay. There's a select few that I do care.
Well, like your parents, yes, but then I mean, like others outside of like your
not even
your
that,
woman.
not even parents. Just you know, people that look up to me as being a role model, or people that you know, not just kids. Just we're going to be talking to a gentleman later on tonight, and we're going to talk about how the story of how I met this person was through social media, and it was a full-on inspirational kind of deal.
Okay,
and I was picking the good wolf out of this situation. And it was because something that he presented to me that, you know, now I feel like I care what this person thinks because he looks up to me.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
Such situations like that. You know, if I go out and I do some dirt, it's going to take me a long time probably to rebound because I have this following of people who think I am this great individual. And you know, from my perspective, I think I have become this very good guy because, you know, everything is aimed at bettering oneself, just like we preach here at Forge on our podcast. Yep. I live this. This is not just
a weekend thing.
Smoke, you know, being blown out of my ass. This is something that I live every day of my life. Like, it's become so much so that's why I look forward to this podcast. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to see other people succeed. So, out of good nature, I've become this good wolf, and I essentially think I'm going to remain this good wolf. Are there going to be opportunities again where the bad wolf comes out? Yes. But it's like, I kind of put it in perspective. You got the devil on one shoulder, and you got the angel on the other shoulder from the cartoons back in the day, and you got the devil. You should do it this way. You should do it this way. You know, and then the other one's, these people aren't going to like that. You know what I mean? We're all going to be faced with those opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
no matter, how good of a person we are. There's always something going to blur the lines or make
Mm-hmm.
us, whether it's relationship or being an employee, so on and so forth.
That
so.
just warms the cockles of my heart that he gets excited for Tuesday. Warms them cockles.
So good wolf
Yes.
doesn't always get the attention, but will always get the payoff, the progressions, I believe.
See, I think that it's a mixture of the two. You've got to have the good to be with for the respect, okay? The respect and
it's the whole sign of Taoism, the yin and
bad
yang.
of gives you that drive,
Mm-hmm.
okay? The push yourself, push it forward. Oh, but I got this. No, quit being a little bitch. Do what you got to do. You've got to. That's what I'm saying. This whole which one wins, the one you feed more. No, I need both.
Yeah.
I'm a mixture of
so
both.
So that voice in your head that pushes you, you consider that the bad wolf?
The one that pushes me?
Yes. The one that you just said.
Yeah, no, the push me.
Get off your ass and stop being a little bitch.
Yes. Yes. He tells me.
He's the bad wolf.
He's the naked one and the other one's got a robe on. There's your devil and the angel. One's naked, one's got a robe. Yeah, because the good one, I mean, he wants to do things, but I think sometimes the good goes along with the plan, goes this and this and this. Whereas the bad is just like, oh, look, no doors are open, kick them open.
Yeah.
The one door open, one door closes, another one opens. No, don't wait for the door to close.
So the bad one isn't always necessarily just something to create negative vibes.
Exactly.
It's more of a stern attitude, a rugged attitude to push you through to your goals.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I mean, it could be said that, the good could be the fear because you live a certain way. Boom, boom, boom. You're told these are the rules. These are the laws. Do this.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad is like, okay, so let's get just a little bit of the good. As long as I'm hearing, I can walk that fine line, but I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. I'm not going to be a lemming or a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do what I got to do so that I can enjoy all the financial freedoms. If you have kids, I can enjoy watching the kids, not waiting. I was talking to my stepfather the other day, and his work ethic is phenomenal. Okay? But his work ethic was the father works back then, and he could afford both kids going to college. The mom could stay home, and we could go on vacation. You can't do that now. Now, mom and dad both got to work, and one of them sometimes has 2 jobs just to go. So you need that tenacity to push you along. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. All right. Hence, like my buddy Warren says, you need 7 sources of income to be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm pushing. This. I've got other things in the works for DJ and I. Some of the things I have talked to him, some things I haven't. I just want to get a solid grabbing of them before we blow up and make this stuff happen. But it's using the strength of the bad wolf.
The bad wolf to
that
push
that I can do this.
Shined a little bit of light on this for me because coming into the episode when you told me about the good wolf and bad wolf, I almost directly put it in the form of good deeds, bad deeds.
Okay.
Evil versus good kind of deal, and I
I
respect your view.
Saying with the bad is, is it really bad if you see a guy attacking a girl and you grab him by the back of his neck and throw him?
Okay.
Or break his leg or his arms so he can't hurt this girl until police can come and detain him. Is that bad?
No.
Okay, exactly. See, sometimes...
But it took the bad guy to
initiate that. Because the good would have been like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't. No, that doesn't work. Watch this. Now he's not going to hurt girls. Gotcha. And every time he goes to look at a woman, he's going to feel the pain in his arm. Or the pain in his legs as he's going like this, pushing himself to his job.
Would you consider overthinking, depression, anxiety? Would you consider these to be any categories under good or evil, good or bad side, good or bad wolf?
that you get like so because you so okay so maybe I don't know which one to I want to win or which one I want to be, so I get depressed, I get sad, or I get anxious. How do I do this? It's a good question. I would say the depression is where you try to be yourself, and because you are constantly just pounded and hounded and stopped from trying to be who you are, that may I now I'm not a doctor, I don't have a PhD, this is just my opinion, so it's you can't sue me because I said something, but I think you are such you're attacked, you're hounded, you're pushed down, you're told that you're trash, you're garbage, you're nothing. You can't do whatever you want. You got to do what I say.
But sometimes
that forces
you
those
tell
chemicals.
yourself these things, which drives you into depression.
But that's after someone else has already said it. You don't. I don't.
Not necessarily.
Well, I haven't been able to read personally where somebody just wakes up and be like, you know what, I'm sad. I think
I don't
one time in their life.
I don't suffer from chronic depression, but I've had depression periods and times in my life, and I've had some actually fairly recent, and it had nothing with other people telling me how I was, or they didn't beat me down. I beat myself down.
Okay.
Because I felt, again, it goes back to thinking what other people care, what they think about you and stuff like that. Which I've tried to.
Okay.
I've tried to kick
there you
that.
go. Somebody's not beating you down per se, but you're putting your focus on what other people think of you. That in itself, there's your ceiling.
Yeah. And
I can't do this, and that ceiling falls. Well, you can't do this because somebody says something. Boom, the ceiling falls even lower.
So then there's other times when I am a massive overthinker. Okay.
Yeah.
I overthink everything, way beyond what it should be overthought. Right. So there's times where you get in a position you start to overthink. Does this person think?
You start concocting things.
Yeah, you start just making stuff up completely.
It took him an hour to order pizza tonight. Let me tell you. Yeah, overthinking.
I was overthinking the topics.
Yeah. Banana peppers or watermelon peppers? I don't know. Red or green?
But anyway, overthinking to me, now that you put this in
my perspective,
your perspective, overthinking to me can be that negative wolf, that bad wolf. In my mind,
all right.
Because overthinking is essentially the reason for a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, but if you're overthinking, isn't the good wolf doesn't know what to do? Because the bad wolf would know how to react. The bad wolf, at least from the research I've been able to find, that evil part or the bad part is always associated with your reaction, your instincts, your survival.
Gotcha.
So the good wolf is what's associated with like the filter. No, don't do that. It's the fear. Don't do this, don't do that. That's, unless things have changed since last year when the COVID hit, which I doubt they have because people are still wonky. But the good was always associated with just minding your P's and Q's, follow the sheep, be a lemming. Versus the bad, I'm a lion, I'm going to do what I want. I'm the king of the jungle. See what I'm saying?
I guess it can be taken differently to everybody.
Yes. But I associate the bad with, that's my strength. Those are my survival. You can't tell me I do something. First I'm going to bite your head off, then I'm going to show you I can do it. But no, that's very interesting that I can't really answer to the anxiety part because I know it's real. I've read a few articles about it.
I've suffered from high anxiety quite a bit lately.
I don't understand, maybe I can't, because of the way I choose to look at things.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people let something make them that jumpy and that anxious. The only time I jump is if I'm coming out of the bathroom and my kid's standing on the side of the door with a mask on, with his plastic sword going, oh boy, you're lucky my memory works fast. I almost dropped you. Colton did that yesterday. I come out the bathroom and I saw, and I was like, oh, mother, you almost lost your life, kid. I almost ate you. He started laughing. It was a good time. But I can't, for me, it's maybe, I don't know, I just choose not to. Because I know I've read enough. I've been I've been to 37 out of the 50
So
states.
is this how you decide which wolf you're going to feed more?
What do you mean?
Is this how you decide? So you
Just because I choose?
You choose to not get caught up in what other people think and things like that, right?
I don't,
So
not get caught up.
Do you use this mentality to feed that bad wolf to keep you going? Do you get what I'm saying?
I think I do.
So you're saying the bad wolf is the one that's pushing you to
always pushing. It could be very well
your
be.
Fear.
It could be very well be the bad wolf, and I keep the good wolf is just there to remind me. And honestly, and maybe this is wrong of me, but I act a certain way because my parents are still alive, and I don't want to bring shame to their name. Because my parents are, are people seem to love them. They're very magnetic. But I don't want to do things. And I honestly think when I mean, yes, they'll be dead when they finally pass, but I think I might change a little bit. And I think my filter will, unless I'm around kids or, my niece or nephews, I think I will be more open to exactly telling people how I feel about them versus stopping. Only because I am a very firm believer in human decency. And you should act a certain way to people. You should be respectful. There's a difference between busting balls and then just trying to pick at that person.
What if you respect someone your whole life? Mm-hmm. You give them nothing but utmost respect. You give them everything a good person gives to another good person, the human decency that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
But this person tends to do things a little different or, not the right way, or
what do you mean?
Things start to build up. These tendencies of these people that surround you, they start to bother you. Do you turn into this bad wolf, and like you said, you're gonna be a little bit more open to these people?
Well, it depends.
Because I've done this recently, and I felt.
You feel good after.
I feel good after it, and it didn't cause hatred to the point where these people cut me off. Mm-hmm. I think it. It resulted in them.
So you're telling them how you feel, so they stop doing what they're doing.
So that they're aware, and that they think a little bit more about the process of whatever it was that was bothering us. I'm not going to say any names.
No, that's fine. I've seen myself do something like that where I've said something, but I've said it in such a way where it made them think. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like I was a complete dick. Mm-hmm. But it was just like, this is how it is. Boom, 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 and this is what you're doing. Boom, 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 boom. Now, if you could see no wrong in that, then we can't be friends anymore or associates or whatnot. But if you can, and you try to change and fix this...
These are people that you do not want to cut off, if that makes it any different. These are people that have been around forever, and you do not want to cut off. Yet,
sometimes
you're bumping heads, and something needs to be said. To see your point of view, before you have to take yourself out of the equation.
Unless it's your mother, your father, maybe an uncle, depending on how close the bond is, or your kids. No, if it's not family or if it's a friend, even if you grew up with them, no. There comes a point when you have to just be like, listen, you're not being a decent human. You're just being a bastard. You got to change. Or I can't do this because I'm not upping it up. There's a reason. What you're saying, and what did I say? It's lonely at the top. Okay, that's why a Bugatti has 2 seats and a bus has 30.
Yeah.
Why am I gonna act like this? Just to appease you when this is where I want to be. Yeah. Okay? Now, if you can act like a decent, but you're not up here, but you're trying, we can still hang out. But this is where I want to be. I want to be better. Okay? So if I got to be an asshole to get people to think, hey, you know what? Maybe what the wild man said is right. Maybe let me sit down and think. If I can say something that in a manner that makes you go, and you actually stop and you think, then we can work. Then maybe, we can work together.
Gotcha.
Or if they need help, hey, well, what would you do? Well, I would do this. I tell people, Mingya, you got my Facebook, the Instagram, or if they know my phone number, you got a question, find me on the Facebook and the Instagram or whatnot. I'll get your message back to you. I've had plenty of people do that. It's just you've gotta. I'm trying. After everything I've read, The Secret, a lot of these inspirational books, being here, don't be here. This is where I want to be, and that's why Bugatti has 2 seats and the bus has 30. That's what I saw that a couple days ago, and I'm going, huh? And then I saw it like another 2 days pass, and I saw it again. I'm like, I think somebody's trying to tell me something, and it's just, it makes you think of exactly, maybe it can, in your mind, you think, okay, so am I doing right? Because I want to be here. Not better than anybody else, but I'm holding myself to a higher standard.
Gotcha.
Okay? See, that's what people think, oh, you want to get up here and get money. You really think you're better. No, I don't. I'm not better than anybody.
Goal. That's your goal, and that's what you're ascending towards.
Yes, this is where I want to be, where I hold myself, me, not anybody else.
Gotcha.
Me. So.
Gotcha. Well, there you have it, folks. Did you want to add anything else to the good wolf, bad wolf conversation?
I get a kick out of the wolves because I've had people ask me, well, what if I'm not a wolf? What if this? And I read something a long time ago. Everybody has an animal persona. Okay? There's an animal that you mostly associate. But it wasn't until 2 years ago, I was doing some reading when it gets into this metaphysical, astrological, astronomical, whatnot stuff. And they did a thing where sometimes, you might start off with one animal is your animal, but other animals come to you and join you on your path, on your journey. And I think of some of the times the way I am. And I've had, the wolf is always with me. I associate mostly with the wolves. I had an incident when I was younger. I went out with my father hunting, and they had left me with a buddy of his. I was about 5. They left me with a buddy of his, and he don't remember this. Things are a bit of our. Well, the buddy got up to go take a piss. And I don't know how it got out there, but there was a wolf come to the camp where we were sitting, where the fire was. Sat down right next to me. 5 years old. I'm petting this thing, not a fear in my any at all.
Yep.
Guy comes back. The wolf would not let the guy that was in the camp come near me. We had to wait for my father to get back, and then they had to shoot range. And it's still, the wolf did like that second. Are you sure? And then he shot again, and the wolf ran away. So I've had the wolf has followed me. Now I've had the lion a few times because sometimes I had to be ferocious, and I've had the bear, just because I'm a big, cuddly bear sometimes when it comes to the little, the kids. But you gotta take stock, not to think, oh, I'm a wolf, I'm a lion, I'm a bear, I can do whatever I want. No, you gotta look. All right, the animal does this. Why? Like they say that thing. The lion's not the fastest. He's not the biggest. Why is he the king? Because of his heart. Because he chooses to be.
Gotcha. So
I choose this. I choose a certain way to live instead of settling for mediocrity and just bitching and complaining about everything. So, but that's me.
There you go, folks.
Yes.
It's the wild man's take on the good wolf and the bad wolf. It's good stuff, brother. I wanted to hear from you a little bit more this episode. Yes.
And we want to hear from you.
Yeah, we want to hear from you guys at home.
Choose Your Destiny 2.0 at gmail.com. Hit us up on the Facebook. Hit us up. I don't know if we can leave messages on Anchor. Can they leave messages on Anchor?
Absolutely.
Hit us on the Anchor. Oh, hit us up on the Anchor to Spotify. We just got Buzzsprouts. I'm going to use that. I was talking with DJ. We're just going to upload all our interviews on that. I uploaded it 4 hours ago. We've had one downloaded. Awesome. But look for us. Find us. We're going to start. It might be the next episode. I don't know. We got to play with a couple things to see how it works. We want to go live, so that you can interact with us and we can sit and answer your questions as we're lifting you up, making you laugh, making you smile a little bit more.
Little inside joke.
Inside joke, yes. But we want. This is the thing. I got with DJ. I was like, you know what? I love to talk. I want people to laugh. I have a certain way that I look at life, and I expect a certain amount of human decency from people. You should act that way. Everyone should aspire to be here. Okay? Yes, I know we need the balance. We need everything. But you know what? I've hung out with people that are down here, and they still acted like they were up here. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Even though they're here. So, you know what? Come see us. Stop by. Write us a note. Hit us at the Gmail, chooseyourdestiny2.0 @gmail.com.
All right, so you folks listening on all the audio platforms and YouTube as well, stay tuned for the interview we got coming up.
Yep.
But first we're going to do Choose Your Destiny.
Oh, you figured something out.
I did figure something out.
Oh, all
Just
right.
doing it on the fly this
there
week.
There you go.
Right?
Fly.
All right, so a lot of us watch movies, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to do away with one category, or two categories out of the three. The one that you're stuck with is the kind of movie you watch for the rest of your life.
You already know me. Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
On, okay,
it could be,
what do you got?
I know you
what
like to laugh. I know you like to watch
true.
some action.
That's true.
But we are going to go with horror flicks.
Okay.
A, horror flicks.
All right.
B, action.
You bastard. Okay.
C, comedy.
Oh, I got to do the action. That's all. That's just me. That's my poor man's alcohol, because I don't drink. If I get frustrated, well, I drink maybe a little bit, but if I get frustrated, I don't hit the bottle.
Yeah.
I don't become abusive. I don't mentally or verbally abuse people. I throw a kung fu flick on for 10 minutes, and all frustration for me is gone. I'm hoping DJ maybe tries to follow suit and does this. It'll save him a lot. Everything is just, you watch Scott Adkins in Ninja kick the hell out of 40 people in robes, you feel better. Okay, I mean...
Well, you could always put a hack on it. You could watch Rush Hour. You got a little bit of...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Central Intelligence was comedy. But for me, it's the action, because I use action and kung fu flicks and that. Yes, the comedy, you laugh, ha ha ha. That's it for me. Action, you get that adrenaline, it kicks you out. So to me, the adrenaline burns that frustration. Yet while I'm watching that movie, my brain, the subconscious, is kind of awake but is asleep, and I'm dealing with those frustrations. And then, 10 minutes. Ooh, that was a damn good fight. Whooped his ass. And then I'm not frustrated anymore. And
I'm right there with you. Action.
You know,
I can easily. Horror movies I stopped watching years ago when your sister just wasn't into it.
I watched the vampires and the werewolves. That's it.
Yeah.
The demon stuff.
I watched the old Slayer movies, and there's never nothing to compare to that, so I kind of gave up. It's all gore these days. I'm not really with the gore stuff. No. Comedy, it's hard to do a part with it, but over action, just isn't happening.
That's where it is.
All right, so we're gonna do some pod shout-outs.
Yes, the pod shout-outs.
All right, the Patrick Kelly podcast for self-development. You can catch him on wave.link/Patrick Kelly podcast. All right. Up next, we got The Last Bachelor. That's on buzzsprout.com, addressing toxic masculinity and generational trauma while promoting positive behaviors in relationships, life, sex, and more.
Ooh.
All right. Shout out to them. Up next, we have Meet for TCast. This is on Anchor. Meet for TCast. Doesn't really give any kind of description, but go check that out. Meet for TCast.
Meet
for TCast.
Okay.
T is in like the tea I'm drinking right here.
Oh, okay.
Cast is, the cast of a movie. All right, here we go. Next one. 6 Things I Wish I'd Learned at 20 by Clear, a podcast on Anchor. Go check that one out. We got the Gauzy Goo podcast. You can find that, Gauzy Goo.
Okay.
This is a great idea, they said. Given the shout-outs, that is. The Gauzy Goo podcast.podbean.com.
Okay.
All right. This next one, it doesn't really give a description, but it gives the... we're going to skip that one.
Okay.
It just isn't enough content there to give to you to find it or nothing.
Okay.
Let's see here. The Further Podcast on Apple Podcasts, podcast.apple.com. The Further Podcast. Then we got Dear Sis. You can find that at dearsis.world. www.dearsis.world. Shout out to them guys. We have The Bald and the Blonde Mindset Evolution has listeners in 44 different countries. We discuss mindset evolution in every episode that meets cross-cultural needs for men and women alike. So you can find that at Linktree at Mindset Evolution.
Okay.
We're going to do one more here. Actually, we'll do a few more. We got a couple more minutes here. Podcast startingoverstronger.com.
Okay.
As a CDC certified divorce coach, I come alongside a woman as she divorces to support her in decisions making, as well as exploring her thoughts, feelings, and needs as she sets goals for securing a fair outcome and creating a new life she can love. So that's Starting Over Stronger. It's a good idea for those who are going through divorce. Let's see what we got here. The 5-Minute NP podcast, also on Buzzsprout. Hello, I am a family nurse practitioner, and I started a podcast to interview impactful people in all areas, physical and mental well-being, mindset, motivation, longevity, and anything I can feel help us live happier, healthier, longer, and more meaningful. All right, so that's the 5-Minute NP podcast. We're going to do one more here. Launching on March 1st. Congratulations. The Slack Life podcast talks about the relatable struggles of youth in a comedic manner to give our listeners some slack in their lives. The Slack Live podcast, you can find that at the slacklivepodcast.buzzsprout.com. So that is our shout outs, our podcast shout outs for the week.
Yes.
We hope nothing but success for your guys' your guys' podcasts. And we hope that you're just having fun what you're doing. And
keep coming at us with these, too. Yeah. Keep hitting us up. Find us.
All right, we're going to leave this episode
the quote
with the quote. And we are going to quote... We're going to go with Albert Einstein.
Okay.
The only source of knowledge is experience. It's a really easy one for you next week. Ooh. The only source of knowledge is experience.
You hear that? Real easy for you.
All right, folks. So stick around for our interview coming up. He is an aspiring actor. We will find out about his story, his grind, his journey to becoming what he's always wanted to become. So stick around for that. Yes. We will be right back.
Remember, this is the Wild Man.
And DJ Tiano
saying goodnight.
Check you guys out.
Later.